I think we just play this. We play more stats. If they Ruination, we have a follow-up here. We're not really that scared. Like, we have a great follow-up to Ruination. We'll say okay. Let's see what they could do. This is only 1, 2, 3, 4 mana, by the way. Got him. Got him. See what they got. 3 damage, heal 3. They don't got enough. Let's go. Let's go. Ooh, man, that felt good. Vladimir didn't get buffed. What are they doing playing that card right now? Are you crazy? There was no buffs or nerfs in that region. You can't play cards that you just like. Jesus, I'm not to brag, and I'm actually not bragging, but fuck, I worked out tonight for the first time in like my whole goddamn life, it feels like, and I can barely move my arms right now. We need to find some of our early game. Remembrance is so fucking good. If you float turn 1, turn 2, especially, I guess we're not gonna be able to attack, but this is fine. I was thinking about running that 2 mana 2/1. I don't know how good it is though.
I have the name.
Mine's better, potentially. The 2 mana 2/1 refresh 2 spell mana. I don't think it's a good card, but it does let you get an early blocker up, but it doesn't block fearsome, so it just seems kind of shitty. This is probably one of my least favorite ones to actually get, but it is more value. But what are they gonna do? Gonna barrier +3/+0? Do we care? No. We're here to prevent damage. Oh wait, they have they're gonna give it more attack, I guess. Are they gonna give it +0/+3 just to keep it alive and it won't kill anything? They might. I think they have to dedicate 2 cards to both keep it alive. Okay, that's only, never mind. That's +0/+2. I'm not sure if that's what they really want to do. That's I mean, in my opinion, that play is questionable. How much mana do I want to hold up? I do kind of want to play this guy. This guy is fucking great. Holy shit. See what they play here. Double Challenger, honestly. This deck has more Challengers than I planned on. I'm not sure how I feel about this guy yet. I haven't had a lot of chances to play him. I mean, an 8/4 quick attack is pretty good. Heal an ally by 3. All right. Well, I mean, I will absolutely... They're going to transfusion, but even if they transfusion, like, it's not... Is that a big deal? I don't think so. Like, they get another card, which does suck, but we get another card, and then everything dies. 1 damage to all battling units. Ooh, that's actually worse. That's way, way worse. I did not expect that card. That card's pretty uncommon, in my opinion. I do want to play this. I would like to draw some cards too, just to get Lux.
I don't carry change.
They are getting a lot of cards out of that, I will admit. What do I want to do here? This guy is good, but not, I don't think that good right now. I think we just play a chump lump. And we could draw some cards here.
If they mattered, I'd let them live.
I will absolutely do this. I got no issues here. Surprising, if you ask me. That seems like a questionable play. I'll get rid of both mushrooms. Draw some real cards. Drawing a Lux is the dream right now because I could play Lux double Flash of Brilliance. Well, can we? I guess we're actually a mana short. This card's pretty good right now. This is a better attacker though. 5. Still have 3 mana left over. If we have this, we'll have 4 mana left over. What are we gonna do with the other 4 mana? We only want to really play this. We can't play them both anyway, so it doesn't really matter if we play this or this. If we play this, we could still play Get Excited, I suppose. And it's just a better attacker. Yeah. I don't think there's a huge reason to not play this card. This card feels way better than this card. I'm not necessarily confident Piltover is the right combination with this deck, even though Flash of Brilliance is really, really good. We will attack.
I'd ask your name, but I don't care.
Interesting.
Mother!
This is still an 8/4. I could still block that and live. It does have Overwhelm, but so they're probably going to buff it and get in for some stupid amount of damage. Where's my Lux, yo?
Try to understand. I matter, you don't.
Still only an 8/7. We're not too concerned. This is actually pretty good because we could still play back-to-back or double get excited.
Teeth big as tombstones.
Call the weak in fire.
You.
I don't care about saving it, though. We don't need to. We'll see if they do anything. Like, they're only getting through for 4 damage there, and this is 2, and then their things all die. +0, +3. Cool. Well, I guess we might as well do our thing as well. Just to make sure it dies. This actually takes 0 damage now.
Reavers, avenge me.
Not a super powerful play, but it does kill a card that they obviously want to stay alive, like, really bad. All right, so here's a Lux. Unfortunately, we are 1 mana short of being able to do what we want. But we could play this, and we could play this to draw another card. Being able to play Lux, and before they kill her, be able to burst 2 things is pretty nuts. I will gladly do this. So even if we use all of our spell mana this turn, we don't care.
Will you be quiet?
That's not ideal, is it? What can we do to prevent that? Nothing. We can deal 3 damage or something, but that doesn't really matter. So this, yeah, they did kill their Vladimir for no reason. They must have another one, I assume. We get to draw another card here if we want. We already don't need the mana for Lux. But if we hold on to this, we have 3 spell mana. We could play Lux. We could double Flash of Brilliance and play Get Excited. Or we could just draw another card right now. I don't think we need the other card right now. I think I want the spell mana.
Finally, someone with class.
A pleasure to see you too, my dear.
Boink.
I've dressed for the occasion in red.
I've been hiding my light too long.
Huzzah! Go Lux! Not sure how I feel about these spells, honestly. Do we want to... Vladimir is about to level up. This will do 5 damage to all battling enemies. So I think we just kill this anyway. No, we actually can't use this. We can't use Judgment right now. But we might as well just use that, right? They've got 1 mana. There's only 1 card in their deck that probably keeps it alive.
But my friend, I'm absolutely parched.
I'm absolutely parched.
This is my choice.
We'll absolutely just block this. It kills Vladimir unless they have something to interact with. We take no damage because of our barrier. Oh, Vladimir will level up. You're absolutely correct. I forget that that happens when it does. We will go ahead and discard. Discard the Chump Wump to deal 3 damage to... We'll do 3 damage to this. We'll hit OK. See if they can protect it first.
After all these centuries.
We will get rid of the... I guess the Judgment. This will give us another final flash. Final spark, right? Because we did another 6. So then we get... That's how we do it. Lux just owned ya. Wipe out their whole board. Left a Callista deck. Man, we are in a new era. How wonderful. I will keep the Mage Seeker Persuader because it is still a decent 2-drop if we don't find something good to play. It depends on how defensive we need to be. With Callista Hecarim, we probably need to be... This is definitely going to be a full-on ephemeral deck, I have to assume. Or it's just Shadow Isle good stuff. What is Demacia bringing? If you're going with ephemeral, I guess you're usually going with Ionia. Because there's just more support there. I don't know. Not 100% certain. We're going to hold on to these guys so we can play Remembrance next turn. Okay, it is ephemeral, but why Demacia? I just don't know. Are they going to play the 3/1/1s? Oh, man. That'd be really bad. I mean, it would be 3 2/2s. It'd be 2 4 6 8. Who do we appreciate? All right, so we can play Remembrance, get a good blocker and attacker, and then we can start playing #hypervalue. We could do that whenever. We might as well just play this now. Plus, if they were also playing Ionia, I'd be scared of a deny here, which I am not scared right now. Not the best, but we can, honestly, Challenger is pretty good against Callista. But I still probably prefer, it's a pretty good minion, especially on this curve, right? We will, attack this. Worst case, what, they have Mark of the Isles? Like, do we care if they have Mark of the Isles? No. It's the same thing. We want to kill, this is a higher value target to kill than that. But they're acting like what they did was a huge big brain play. I want to play Flash of Brilliance, but we can't play it this turn.
Does death follow me, or peace?
Detain would be really good, but I want to get 2 blockers out.
Mages can't hide from me.
Look at that, 2 mana, 4/3, I win.
Their guilt is evident.
Let's go. Right, Flash of Brilliance is really good here. Well, is it actually? 1 mana short of being able to use back-to-back. I think we just attack. And we get a Detain for next turn. Because then we would be able to Flash of Brilliance and whenever we want. Well, it's excited to see what kind of spell we're going to get here. Maybe we have more 6-cost spells than we need in this deck. Because you only have to cast 1 for their effect to go off, so you don't need to build the whole deck around it. But we are building it around Lux as well, and Lux needs to see you cast 6 mana in spells, but not a 6-mana spell, if that makes sense. Yeah, if we had Detain, I would love to deny that, but we cannot. But still, you know, they don't want to get rid of that card. It's definitely one of their more build-aroundy cards. The only bad thing about Mage Investigator is that they're going to know we have Detain, but is it really that big of a deal? We still have it. They still have to be able to play around it. If they don't play Hecarim right now and we get this, I mean, I guess Hecarim's 5 mana, right? Still, no, he's 6 mana, so he'd have to. They couldn't play it this turn. I don't think there's any way they could play it this turn. There is the 1 mana card that decreases the mana cost of something by 1, but yeah.
Round we go.
Y'all plop this. Look at that Detain. I mean, it is an expensive. You know what? We're going with the 5/6 mana next turn. Where did this card come from? Swiftling Lancer. Okay, good. I think we will just play this. It's just a good blocker. This card's fucking nuts. A 2 mana 4/3 Challenger is like really good. The only way it's not good is if they're playing like Ruination, but I don't think that they're playing like. I don't think they're playing that. I don't think this synergizes with Ruination because it kills itself. We will absolutely just detain that. We basically have no choice. And even if they can kill this, we don't really care. I mean, we care, but you know, how much do we care that much? Nah. We want to be able to bring Lux down and immediately use Flash of Brilliance into something else. Double Flash of Brilliance would be the dream. And I think they're deciding whether or not they want to sacrifice their own Hecarim here to draw some cards. I think that might be a GG. They seem to have forgotten that we had a detain, and that's really all it takes. Shows you what a turn 3 Remembrance into just a bunch of 2-mana 4/3s can do to an opponent. That was pretty oppressive, and this deck is not optimized yet. Good game, opponent. Karma. Shadow Isles, Ionia, Karma. But at the same time, Karma is scary to see just in general. I think we actually get rid of all this right now. Karma implies to me that they're going late game. I probably should, I don't know, I need to refine this deck a bit more. There's definitely some loose slots here. Okay, we got all of our support cards without any, I mean, luckily they're all good enough on curve anyway. I am just gonna pass though. Wow, interesting.
Silent as death.
I'll play the 3/3. This one has Detain on it, which would be really good for Lux, but I do also want to just
Suspicious.
want to avoid taking damage, I suppose. That might be a bit overkill, but yeah, I don't know. We're not drawing any spells. Now you're running a Progress Day and 3 Rummages as well. Yeah, we kind of expected something like that. That's fine.
Stop them!
I just play a 4/3. No, I want my spell mana back, just in case. This guy being able to block Fearsome is so fucking nice. Jesus Christ. Are there any spells in my deck?
There is hope.
The answer is yes, there are a lot of spells in my deck. We'll just play the mana. We just have to draw a spell. We're in trouble if we don't draw a spell very soon. Yeah, okay. I don't care what you have. We get a 6-mana spell, we get to attack this Karma with our Challenger. And we have a lot of them in the deck. Quite a lot. Well, it's not looking like we do, though. It's not looking like we have a lot, is it? Because we have a second Karma, I don't mind just playing it. I've seen you cast 6+ mana of spells. It doesn't have to be in one turn, which is relevant. I do think Lux is pretty good now, actually. I haven't played Lux much since she got buffed a couple patches ago. And that's fine. It's not truly significant.
Stand in judgment.
You think they trade their Karma? They do if they have a second one, but if they don't, they just want the card value. We are, I don't know if we're like, it's hard to tell how much trouble we're in because their Karma, they're not doing much right now. But, like, we need some fucking spells. A Progress Day would be great now. Honestly. Maybe it's a little late. Yeah, they were going to say that Will of Ionia to take this guy back. Jesus Christ!
We will not stand by.
Okay, yeah, we'll block it. I don't care what you have. You're going to recall it. What are you going to do? Yeah, we don't care. We're not going to not block the damage.
The sun is shining. We should too.
She does lose the barrier. We don't care. Progress Day. Thank you.
Can every day be Progress Day?
Thank you, God.
I've been hiding my light too long.
Well, we're absolutely casting Final Spark. They're gonna Will of Ionia it, but then they have to spend 4 mana on that at least, right? Rummage is being 0 mana is pretty nuts. I actually think we might just get rid. Oh! Sorry, not Will of Ionia. I meant Deny, but they don't have that either. Okay. They prefer doing that, keeping their Deny safe. We haven't attacked it, so we could still do this and still attack it again.
Your Demasia's nothing like what I know.
Ooh, they're getting crazy.
I see you. You have no alibi.
Got to keep their karmas to a minimum, which is unlikely. We don't need to do this turn. No reason. Let's just save the mana at 0. This actually being cheaper is not necessarily a good deal, which is kind of funny to say. I think we get rid of Chumpwump and not our other Lux. I think we get rid of back to back. Feels wrong, doesn't it? I think we get rid of Mage Seeker maybe, because these guys are going to be 6/6, and I think we're going to be able to get them down to free. Does that count as 1? It does not. It is indeed a 0 mana spell. So I think we just play 4.
Stand back.
We have exactly 6 mana left.
Who's the threat here?
Okay, that's not bad.
I won't stand by.
Let's get rid of this guy actually and kill that. These guys are getting pretty cheap now. I do want to keep them. And this is 6 mana, so we can actually kill the Rekindler as well. Killing the Rekindler is not super high value though. But it is there, so we'll take it. Boink. If I play this at burst speed, these go down to 2, so it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have enough to do that. Are they playing Ruination? 6. Look, we'll just do this. Because if they kill this, this will be really cheap anyway, and then we'll still be able to play it all. See what they have for interaction. I'm sure they have Vengeance. But what else they have, I don't know. I mean, Vengeance is almost their entire turn also. It's 7 mana, and it would only kill 1 of this, so they'd be taking 8 damage if they don't kill the... They'd be taking 9 damage because they probably want to kill Lux over the other one. So they'd only be at 5, which is very low. Let's see what they got. Okay, healing. Healing. Alright, they go all the way up to 20, and they're going down to 3. It's pretty darn good. Unfortunately... Fortunately, if we play this, it can't target. Final Spark has to target a minion, right? Deal 4 damage to an enemy unit, you know? It doesn't... I don't think you could target the Nexus. I think we just play this. We play more stats. If they Ruination, we have a follow-up here. We're not really that scared. Like, we have a great follow-up to Ruination. We'll say okay. All right, let's see what they could do. Let's see what they could do. This is only 1, 2, 3, 4 mana, by the way. Do it to it. Got him. Got him.
Banish the unworthy.
See what they got. Three damage, heal 3. They don't got enough. Let's go. Let's go. Ooh, man, that felt good. We played around Ruination very well. I wasn't sure if that deck would have it. I haven't seen Ruination going around a lot, but you know, I don't normally make good plays, but I feel like I did do pretty decent that game at the very least. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Plat. So today's deck, I'm going to start off by saying I don't think this list is very refined. I just want to get that out of the way right now. This is the first deck that I've made since the balance patch that came out. and I basically saw a bunch of cards that were reworked, and I wanted to shove them all into a deck to kind of get a feel for which ones felt really strong and which ones felt weaker. That's kind of what I like to do. When a card game introduces a new mechanic or there's a bunch of cards set around a theme of a, for example, this is the 6+ mana cost spell theme. I just put all the cards that synergize with that into a deck, and then I try to build around it. And then as I'm playing the deck, I can kind of get a feel for which of those cards are really powerful versus which ones probably wouldn't make the cut in a competitive deck. So this is like more of a first draft, just experimenting with the mechanic itself. So don't expect this deck to do incredibly awesome for you. However, that being said, I went like 5-0, 6-0 on my first games, which is pretty darn good. I mean, all the games felt relatively easy as well. It might just be a lot of people experimenting right now. I don't know. I didn't play anything that was super meta against anything that was, on the old meta, I suppose. But basically, what's the idea of this deck? There's a bunch of cards that came out in the bounce patch that synergize well with Lux. They're the Mage Seekers. They basically all say they all have an additional effect once you've cast a 6+ cost spell this game. It's a little different than Lux. Lux needs to see you cast 6 mana in spells total. That means you could double Flash of Brilliance for 6 mana to fill her thing. You can do it multiple times a turn, get multiple Final Sparks, things like that. These Mage Seekers are a little bit different. They want you to cast a 6+ cost spell. It doesn't matter if you do 3 cost spells. That will not work. It has to be one spell that costs at least 6 mana. And once you've done it at any point in the game, these cards are essentially upgraded. They are no longer their base stats. This effect has now taken effect on their card. So if this is sitting in your hand on turn 1, it's a 4/3. Once you play a 6 cost spell, it is then a 6/5 for Mage Seeker Insider. So the main build around cards here, you're going to see obviously Lux and then the 3 Mage Seeker cards. This one right here, Mage Seeker Persuader, this card got the most drastic rework, and holy crap, is it so much better than it was before. It's a 2 mana 3/2, straight up right there, awesome stats. It blocks Fearsome, it just blocks well. 2 mana 3/2 is the stat line you want, which is so weird because in Hearthstone and Magic, I feel like sometimes 3/2 is good, but a lot of times 2/3 is better because it's better at blocking and it could trade usually a little bit better. Not the case with Fearsome as a mechanic in this game. This lets it trade with almost anything you want. And then slightly later in the game, not even late in the game, sometimes as early as turn 4, thanks to spell mana being in this game, after you cast a 6+ cost spell, he becomes +1/+1 and gets Challenger. So this becomes a 2 mana 4/3 Challenger, which is disgusting. It's a fantastic blocker. It's fantastic at killing enemy champions and units they want to protect on their board. There's just so many things this hits, and at 2 mana, it's good. If you're going up against an aggro deck and you need to drop this on turn 2, it still blocks for you. If you're able to hold it because the deck's going a little bit slower and you want to get max value out of it, you could hold it for an extra couple turns and then play it as almost like a slow-ish removal spell. Really just good card all around. It felt good in every game I played it. Was not let down. Flash of Brilliance is mostly here to synergize with Lux, and because it does have that 6+ cost spell clause on it, obviously it's just really good with Lux. I don't know if I would go for a competitive version of this deck in Piltover, honestly, but there were some other cards like this that synergized with the theme, and so I wanted to get those all in here, so Piltover was the overall theme of the deck that synergized, but I think you could probably do a little bit better maybe with the Shadow Isles over this, but we'll see. I'll have to do some more refining on this deck and make a more finalized version later. But again, this is mostly in here because it's fantastic with Lux, but also it's just good, for the reasons I said before. Mage Seeker Investigator, 3 mana 3/3, same as before. Once you've cast a 6+ cost spell this game, you create a Detain in your hand automatically. So just by running 3 of this 3 mana 3/3, it's like you're running 3 Detains in the deck. But the Detains are kind of 3 mana more expensive because you have to play this card in order to get it. But you get to run 3 Detains while having 3 bodies as well. So it is like 2 cards in 1. You don't get Detain on turn 3, but typically you can get this out before, you would have enough mana to cast Detain anyway, I suppose, or before you would need to play it, before it's super relevant. Obviously, this card's just really good. It turned out to be a little more situational than I wanted, but it was good. I definitely won 1 or 2 of my games just because I just had Detain and they didn't have an answer for, the creature. Or, I was able to protect it or put it on something too big. Standalone, this is mostly because this deck, you can see we're not playing 1-drops or 2-drops. I mean, okay, we are playing this 2-drop. Sorry, and the 1-drop is Rummage, but we're usually not playing that early in the game. But we're not playing low-cost minions because we're holding spell mana. And standalone on turn 3 is ridiculous. Sometimes you just have a good 3-drop. Like, you just play Mage Investigator or a Mage Seeker because you don't have much else going on. And then you can immediately burst a standalone to give it +3/+3. It's just really good. This is more, it's a one-of, so it's not a build-around, but it's mostly here for the aggro matchups where you have to play things earlier than you want to, where you just need a blocker in the early game. And this card is pretty good for that. Obviously not the most amazing card in the deck, but I like it. Chump Wump, I love this card. Got a little bit of a nerf, but I don't really think it fits in this deck as well as I want. Again, first draft. But Mage Seeker, Insider. A 4-mana 4/3, same as the other 2 Mage Seekers. 6+ cost spell. Grants him +2/+2. 6/5. A 4-mana 6/5 is just really good. It's great at attacking, great at defending. I mean, you notice I'll say that a lot because a lot of these guys just get way stronger. But really, let's get to the part, why are these guys so good? Oh, also, I should mention, Unstable. This is the reason why I went Piltover, because this has the contingency, whatever. It has the requirement that it gets an effect once you've cast 6+ cost spell this game. This is really one of the only reasons to go Piltover, I think, besides maybe like a Progress Day and a Plaza Guardian. I'm not, again, this is one of the reasons why I went Piltover. Not an underperforming card, really. It comes out a little slow. It's a little weak, but it's obviously an 8/4 attacker is pretty ridiculous. They're not blocking this with anything, or they're chump blocking it. But I still think this would be better in maybe a Noxious deck where you can give something Overwhelm. And I don't know. Maybe use a Transmogrify or whatever to change one of your weaker Noxus minions into a copy of this, so you have 2 8, 4 quick attack guys that you can give Overwhelm. Then, you could win the game probably on the spot. That's probably more where this home of this card is. Overall, I'm not too impressed with the card, but it's okay. It's good. 8/4 quick attack. Who can complain? But the reason why these cards are so good is because there are good 6+ mana spells in the game. We're not running as many as you would think we would, but we're running enough where we could consistently get one by turn 3. 3, 6, 7 in the deck. It's not hard to find one of them at some point. Back-to-back was nerfed from 5 to 6, which is actually surprisingly good news for this deck. Back-to-back is obviously just a really good card, affects the board immediately. The downside to it is that you don't really always have that many minions out. It's a bit of a later game card, but it's still fantastic and easily help you sneak in for damage, help you survive trades, trade up. You know what it does. Burst speed, buff spells, overpowered, and it happens to synergize with literally everything in the deck as well. But the real card is Remembrance, this is a weird card because it gets cheaper as allies die, but that's a bad thing. Because if you get this discounted by 1 and it goes down to 5, you no longer fill the requirement of spending 6 mana on this spell. So it doesn't actually do that. But the ideal game plan, it honestly happened more than you would think, is you skip your turn 1, you skip your turn 2. Then on turn 3, you got 3 spell mana, 3 mana, you just play this. It gives you a 5-cost follower from Demacia, still at kind of 2 turns above curve, right? Because you can't play minions early, you can only play spells early, so you're getting a 5-drop follower from Demacia, and they're mostly pretty damn good as well. And then once you've cast Remembrance, you have a big fat boy in the field, like a 5/5 toughness or a 5/4 challenger, the last breath guy that gives you another card. So sometimes you get value, sometimes you get just good toughness creatures, and then just turns on the rest of your deck immediately. That means you're curving into turn 4 with this guy already online, and then he's a 4-mana 6/5 right on turn 4, 5/5, and then 6/5 on turn 3 and on turn 4. So you're attacking for a lot. That sometimes the opponent just can't take the pressure. So I think Remembrance is really like the pie in the sky hope, which is obviously you need Demacia for this deck, which is why I think there's probably a few other 6-mana cost spells that would be in a different combination of colors that would be better. Because I do think the Piltover in this deck is overall pretty weak, although Plaza Guardian can absolutely run away with the game in the late game, because sometimes you'll see in one of the clips, they'll you're late in the game, you'll have a relatively good sized board, they'll Ruination you, and then suddenly you're like, all right, they're out of mana. You're like, all right, Plaza Guardian, Remembrance. There you go. We win. You do it in the opposite order, obviously, but then they just can't stop you. But yeah, it's really Remembrance into so after playing with all these cards, the power plays, the ones that you want, are Remembrance into any of the Mage Seeker cards, right? Even into if you go in turn 3 Remembrance into turn 4 double Mage Seeker Persuader, that's fantastic. That's really, really powerful. Also, Lux with Flasher Brilliance. Flasher Brilliance is so good with Lux, it almost makes me want to do Piltover, because if you have 2 of these in your hand and you have a Lux, and like, let's say you have a Lux down and it survives the turn because it gets Barrier, the following turn, you Flash a Brilliance, Flash a Brilliance, you get a, you know, a final Spark, and then you could cast any of your 6+ cost spells, which this gave you 2, and you still have full mana because it's a free spell essentially. Then you get another final Spark, so it could be so ridiculous with Lux, and just like Heimerdinger as well. Just very good overall. I mean, obviously, you guys can see the rest. I'm rambling on too long. Everything else is pretty self-explanatory. Rummage is here because Chump Wump is here, and it just helps us get to the cards we need to get to. We need to get these 6+ cost spells. Even though we're running 7 of them, we still need to get to them. Purify is because we're running 3 Detains, and it's just a pretty good card overall, especially in a world where there's so many burst spell stat buffs. This is kind of something that you just want to have because they'll transfusion, or they'll, you know, I already forgot what it's called. Side by side, sorry, back to back. You name it, the elixirs +3 +0 +0 +2. There's so many things, especially when people are doing like standalone meme decks with elusive. This could save your life. It's a fantastic card all around. 1 progress state, it synergizes with the deck, but also sometimes it could just be pretty hard. Like sometimes you just need the card draw. But it's just the 1 of. You don't need it usually that much. It's actually kind of anti-synergistic. Like reducing the cost of spells that you draw by 1 is anti-synergistic with the deck's identity. You only need to cast 1 6+ cost spell for these guys to all turn on, and then they're on for the rest of the game. But Lux does need you to cast 6 mana in spells, so making something go from 6 to 5 makes it way harder to make Lux work. But you don't need to cast it this turn. Like, she just keeps track of it in general, so if you cast 5 mana on a spell, and then the following turn you cast another, 1 or 5, any amount, she will then get the final spark the following turn. So you got to be careful. Again, this deck is not refined. I open to suggestions what you guys would change, what region you think would be better. But as an experiment, I got to say, I think that this mechanic, this new redesign, is very, very powerful. Very impressed with it, especially with Remembrance into the turn 4 curve. Seems really, really powerful in this deck. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the games. I hope to see you next time. Much love. Peace out. The Purplatypus is Purplatypus. Also, leave any questions, comments, concerns in the comments below. I will respond to all comments because I get basically no comments, so I respond to them all. But, yeah. Peace out, guys. You have a good day. See you next time.